going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of C2K Entertainment Podcast. I am your host, C2K Covers to Kill, owner of C2K Entertainment. Today it is, sorry guys, something just came out. Oh, today is July 1st. July 1st, 2025. The time right now is 4:20 p.m. 4:20 p.m. Beautiful first of the month. First of the month. Yes. Anyway, uh, there's something that I do want to talk about, and I just have email from the people above me, people above C2K Entertainment, people above Backyard Resident 2.0, people above C2K Resident Promotions, which is uh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name. But I'm just gonna say this people above me. um, I'm going to say a situation happened last night where I was nowhere around. I was at work where all this happened. A situation that I do understand why it happened, and listen, I'm the promoter. I'm promote all these talk shows and podcasts, and I do not tell people what to do with the talk shows. I don't know. I don't tell people what basically to do in the talk shows and who to bring in the talk shows. Um, when I do get basically the email of the people above, that's when I say, okay, we can have these people. These people had this person had to be banned. Blah 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 blah. Um, a situation happened yesterday at one of the podcasts that I do promote, and where after the in agreement that I made with this individual girlfriend, where um this individual is not allowed in any of the talk show, the podcast that I have to promote. Um, where it says that we cannot be in the same talk shows that this individual is. Um, where we basically cannot mention no names. The person cannot mention any names, and blah 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 blah. We I made this agreement Monday morning, Monday morning, right? So after the agreement that I had with this individual girlfriend, something yesterday happened. A situation happened in Guest Insights podcast with actually Titan and Joshua Allen, um, where this individual was brought back to the talk show. Um, tell you the truth, I only at first I only saw the first show where I thought that everybody was chilling, everybody was having a great time. So I said, okay, everything is good because This individual did a show after the agreement, and he did his part of the agreement. He didn't mention no names or no nothing, so everything was good. Then next to this incident, this situation happened in this podcast where they brought the individual to the podcast where when he was not allowed to come back, as the agreement says. Um, next, um, because I do work from 11:30 to 7:30 in the morning. So when I come from work, I do check whatever is going on in whatever is going on in the talk shows, the wrestling, and then I go straight to sleep. So yeah, yesterday, like I said, this individual came back, and like I said, I just saw the beginning of the talk show. I didn't see the whole talk show after I've been called. Many people is calling me. Many people are sending me text messages and, oh, you need to see the talk show, and it happened again. And I'm like, what happened? So I had to see the whole talk show. I was pretty upset because it's like I already took care of this. This was already done. I already took care of the situation, and I an agreement was done. So I didn't see the reason why this should happen or why it happened. So basically, it got a little tense in during the talk show with this other individual that I cannot mention the name because uh, the people above me tell me that they don't want this individual in any of the talk shows that I do promote because they don't want no more drama going on in any of these talk shows. They don't want no drama in any of these talk shows or podcasts. They want everything to go as planned. Where that will go with basically is to promote and show the new backyard wrestling 2.0, where there's no drama, there's everything is great, and talk about wrestling, etc. This other individual, got in there and basically they respected one of the guests, and they respected one of the guests' wife, which something that I don't like. That's one thing that I don't like, and the people above me felt uncomfortable. They didn't like that this individual they respected. Um, they respected the guests in the podcast, and they didn't like his cockiness. They didn't like his cockiness. They didn't like how he was talking. They didn't like how he was acting, and they said, C2K, we don't want him back in this podcast. He's not allowed. And did a meeting with this podcast probably like an hour ago, where I did say, these two individuals are not allowed in the podcast ever again, because now I spoke. I mean, I sent a message to his, one of the individual's girlfriend, the one that I had the agreement. I'm just waiting to see what she say. I wanted to see, whatever is the agreement that we did Monday morning still stays. So now I feel like I got to clean this up. I feel like I got to clean this mess once again. Something happened after the show, which after the show nobody saw it. After the show, where basically I spoke to basically um the person, one of the hosts of the podcast, and had to clear things up with them and stuff like that. Make things, that hopefully everybody do understand and know where we at. So I'm getting this email from the people above me saying that they are upset, uncomfortable, disgusted for what went down yesterday in one of the podcasts that I do promote. And the warning, they gave me a warning, and this is not the first warning they gave me. They say if this happen again in some of your talk shows, we're gonna have to basically blacklist them and ban them from your promotion because they feel that's the only way basically is to not only to protect my reputation but to protect everybody's reputation that are part of C2K Entertainment. Not only part of C2K Entertainment, but part of C2K Wrestling. I mean, C2K Wrestling Promotions and Backyard Wrestling 2.0. So that, like, we like the podcast, even though it's new. We love the podcast. We just didn't like what happened yesterday. So I'm like, you know what? I will fix it, and which I did. I already fixed it. I already make meetings with the host of the podcast and all that stuff, and made sure that we all came to an agreement. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still overcoming a cold, so sorry about that. And that's what's going on. So it's like, listen, I have to tell you, listen, the people above me told me that if this happened again, I'm going to have to make the decision to blacklist and ban one of the shows. And I don't want that. They don't want that. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, and so I did. Like I said, I spoke to the host, I spoke to many people, and so I am waiting for the response of the individual girlfriend to see hopefully uh the agreement hopefully the agreement stays after everything that happened, after we thought that the drama was done, after we thought that the drama was over. I mean, that's what I thought. After I announced it Monday, I announced it Monday morning. Hey, the problem is over. Everything is good. Blah 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 blah. Okay, everything is back to normal. And this happened yesterday, and I'm like, here we go again. So now I gotta clean stuff. Now I gotta clean the mess. This is what I'm doing right now, creating the mess, creating, you know, of what happened yesterday. And hopefully it does not happen again. Hopefully not. It just, these individuals are not allowed anymore in any other talk shows or platforms that are part of C2K Entertainment. And hopefully that this doesn't happen again. I want to apologize for whatever happened yesterday in one of the talk podcasts I have to promote, and hope it doesn't happen again. Hope the agreement still stands, and that's it. That's what I gotta say. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Love you all. God bless, and I will see you guys in another episode of C2K Entertainment Podcast.